Hi guys, welcome to this incredible mountain lodge up in the clouds. Today we are going to look at an incredible home with one of the most spectacular views I've ever seen, so please follow me and let's go dive in. This home was bought around 3 years ago by 3 friends who've lived on Bali the past 20 years or so. And when they saw the space, they completely fell in love with it. But because of its shape, they had to completely renovate it. And the inspiration for this holiday home was to really create a space that feels like it's been here forever. And you will see this throughout the design, that we have a lot of antique and vintage elements integrated to create a truly spectacular mountain lodge. The entire house sits on this wooden structured platform that we're standing on right now, and it is actually floating and built right on top of a hill. So you can just take in this gorgeous view when you're having your morning coffee. The entire platform, so both indoor as well as the outdoor area, make up around 150 square meters, so it isn't too big, but it has everything you need. There's a sauna, there's an ice plunge. There even is a private access to all of the incredible waterfalls that we have in the area. So let's go and look at this incredible design. Now, what I really love about the space is that the layout itself and the architecture is very symmetrical, and the entire house is completely surrounded by this full frame glass facade in every single corner of the house. And so you can actually open up almost every single corner of this house and just create this fully indoor outdoor living area where you have the wind rushing through, and it is really beautiful. Now please follow me to the inside. As soon as you enter the space, you notice that the space feels like it has actually been here forever. And that is because we have a lot of historic pieces of furniture, like these very traditional historic Balinese chairs that I love. But at the same time, the design has this very strong mid-century vibe, because we have all of these different, more deeper saturated colors, and also a lot of vintage pieces of furniture. Over here we have the dining room area, and because the space isn't too big, we have a round marble table that just perfectly fits inside the space, and that just adds this very soft organic shape to the square architecture of the design. In order for me to keep showing you these incredible homes all around the world with the best interior design, I need you to subscribe to this channel right now so that our community can grow. It's completely free for you, and it would be the best and simplest way that you can support us. So thank you so much. Now this home is located up in the mountains of Bali called Munduk. It's one of the coolest areas. I think it's actually one of my most favorite areas on the island because it's a few degrees colder here. And so when the 3 friends bought this place, they wanted to really turn it into this cozy hunter's lodge where you come for a weekend with your friends, go to the sauna, throw on a barbecue, and to just really recreate this mountainside living. And so the materials also really reflect this intention and philosophy of the design. There's a lot of raw wood, there's the raw stone, and we also have all of these gorgeous textural fabrics added, like these red bold carpets that just also really underline and add this extra layer of coziness. Hold up, let's do a quick color palette analysis of this exact home. Now this home has one of my favorite color palettes, and that is the complement color palette. More on that in my color course, but this essentially just means that the main colors of the color palette lie on opposite sides on the color wheel. So when we take a look at the color palette of the house, what we see is the strong green from the outside that has also been pulled into the design and into the interior, so into the sofa as well as the ceiling. And then we have this strong, bold, complementary contrast of the red carpet, and this just creates a really strong tension within the design. And what makes this exact palette so sophisticated, that at the same time, the different colors have a completely different temperature. So the green is on the colder side, while all of the other colors, like the reds and browns and yellows, all lie on the warmer side. This means that we also have a strong contrast in terms of temperature. If you're struggling with the design of your own space at home, I have a solution for you. I've created the Interior Design Workbook just for that. It has everything you need to plan, design, and organize your space. You can get it by scanning this QR code or by clicking the link in the description. Behind the dining table, we have the kitchen, and the kitchen is quite an interesting design because it is fully integrated into the wooden paneled walls. And I think this is really interesting because it just makes it visually disappear a bit more. And you can see that the kitchen panels are all made from the same colored wood as this like wooden paneled walls. And I really love how wood, when it's applied to larger surfaces, just creates this very warm atmosphere that almost feels kind of like it's hugging you. Other than that, you can see that the kitchen is quite sleek and minimalist. There's a small kitchen island in the front, and just to keep a sense of organization within the open shelf, it is also completely made from wood. Now, the real star of the show, other than the view, is this gorgeous living room area. Let me show you. The living area is over here, and it is this very intimate, cozy space that is also zoned by a large red carpet. Carpets are always a great way to zone a space, especially if you have a tight space, to just give different dedicated functions to each area. And the fireplace really is the focal point of this design because as soon as you enter from over there, you look directly at this vintage iron fireplace. And it is super cool because it just looks very rustic and just really adds to this mountainside, cozy lodge feeling. And because of the chimney that is going up, we have a strong verticality that leads us up. I also really like the stone wall that is introduced at the back just to further create this like rural countryside living. But then again, to both sides, we have these gorgeous large windows that just let in the full nature of our surroundings, and it's just so beautiful. I can only begin to imagine how beautiful it is at night when there's fire crackling. There even is a small record player with a few records, so you can just like put some on. And so the three friends who created the space really wanted to make it really personal because all three of them spend a dedicated time here throughout the year, and when they're not here, the space is rented out. So if you're in the area, you can check it out. And you can see that the story of the space being here forever and this really being just this like enclosed retro retreat is also properly reflected in the gorgeous vintage furniture. Now, one of the coolest things about this house is its spectacular view and also the outside area. So over here, we have a generous sofa area where you can just cuddle up at night. Over here, we have yet again a smaller space where you can enjoy your breakfast. And what is so incredible about this view is that we are actually like at eye level with the clouds. And so when you're here, we've spent the past 2 hours here filming the space. In 1 second, you're basically like within a cloud, and within 10 minutes, then you can actually see the ocean, and just the weather and the clouds are changing every minute. And it's just so incredible to be so in touch with nature and to just really see how these clouds behave. It's super cool. Because so much of the size of the property actually takes up like the outside areas, the insides aren't too big. And so when you have a bit more of a tight space, it's always great to keep everything in like an open floor plan. And this is exactly what the three friends did here. And so we have this open bedroom area that can be closed if you want some extra privacy with these like rattan sliding doors from both sides. You go to sleep over here, and then when you wake up with this gorgeous view of the mountains. And I also really love the consistent color palette throughout this design. So, of course, we have the green nature of the outside, but this perfect green shade has also been pulled into the design, and we see it both in the sofa, also in the green ceiling, which is super cool and unconventional. I know some of you always comment that you love painted and colorful ceilings, so I'm sure you will really love this one. I also like it. But then again, we have the same green shade also reflected in the headboard, and I think that this is really interesting. And you can really see that using the same color again and again systematically throughout your design can just create the sense of cohesion, and I really like it. And even behind the headboard, we have a full-on glass facade, which is just so cool. Now let me take you inside the bathroom. It is hiding behind this door. Another untypical thing about this house that just also properly enhances its functionality is that you can actually access the bathroom both from here as well as from the kitchen. And even though this design is more of a retro one that really just reflects this like rural, simple mountainside living, the bathroom is much more luxurious because over here we actually have a white freestanding cement bathtub, which is just super gorgeous. Even in the bathroom, you have your own little sliding door where you can just walk out into the outside. You can also just take a bath here while looking freely into the jungle and into the wild, and it is just so cool. And so also in the bathroom we have this very symmetrical design. So above the vanity in the sink, to both sides of the mirror, we have two round lamps, and you can see that these small circular shapes are also one of the elements that are being repeated again and again throughout the design, just to create some symmetry and a sense of balance and cohesion within the design. Now, I promise you that there's a cold plunge and a sauna, so let's go and let me show you those. And that is that over here, we actually have our own little spa. So inside here, we have a sauna that is also fully heated from a proper fire and real wood, which is super cool because you don't always have that these days. And over here, when you're done with your sauna, there actually is a cold plunge. And out here, we actually have our own little cold plunge, which is really cool. It's small, but that's just perfect because that means that the water can be properly cold and icy. You can get the Interior Design Workbook by scanning this QR code or by clicking the link in the description. If you like this video, you will love this one up here, so I will see you in the next one.